Around 70% of the planet is covered in water, and over 95% of that water is ocean. They are our lifeline, and they're at threat from many fronts, most of which are of human creation. A small but increasing issue is the invention of plastic, which has dramatically changed the way we live forever, for better and for worse. After decades of this new material and its overuse and undermanagement, we are seeing the huge problems it has created. We need to change our relationship with plastics, as the issues they pose to mankind's greatest shared asset, the ocean, is becoming critical. Every day, approximately 8 million pieces of plastic pollution find their way into our oceans. 12 million tons of plastic are poured into the ocean every year. Plastic is just one of the issues that we as humans have created. The problems the oceans face affect everyone, and we must all take responsibility and work together to save our seas for ourselves and everything that lives within it.
Check the flag.
Lac Rose on the west coast of Africa, just north of the Senegalese capital of Dakar, is the site for round 2 of Extreme E. Named for its famous pink lake, Lac Rose was for 25 years the site of the finish of the legendary Paris-Dakar rally, bringing with it tourism and economic stability for the surrounding communities. Sadly, this consistent stream of revenue came to an end in the early 2000s when the event moved away from Africa, leaving the local people with a financial deficit. As part of its legacy program, Extreme E, alongside Senegalese organization TO.org, are working with the local community to create an area called the Eco-Zone, with the aim of regenerating the area and encouraging sustainable practices and a circular economy. The project is being driven by social entrepreneur Stéphane Senghor, a man with a passion for empowering the people of his country.
I had the opportunity to meet with Extreme E, and through the discussion they offered me an opportunity to develop a project and transform a whole community. 12,000 people live in this area. So we were looking at how can we impact the maximum of people. So it's through education, health, enhancing food systems. All these aspects are super important and key for sustainability matters. If you want to reach sustainability, you have to work with the youth. We were thinking that it was super important to start instilling those habits in order to have them understand how they can better interact with the environment that they live in. And this is probably one of the most important aspects that we're trying to teach to the kids. We are trying to show them that, in fact, if we enhance the quality of our relationships, then we can create more wealth and we can create more well-being. We are at Niaga High School, where we are trying to teach to the next generation sustainable ways of living. The idea is about first making sure that they understand where food comes from, also having another rapport with Earth. Because I believe that when kids are practicing and learning how to grow food, they respect more the planet, they respect more those interactions that can be very positive with their environment.
Faire des activités de jardinage ensemble, et c'est très beau de voir l'espace vert. Surtout si c'est nous qui l'avons fait pendant qu'ils grandissent, ça c'est un grand plaisir.
We have the Eco-Brick program, and the Eco-Brick consists into filling up a bottle with dry waste, and once the bottle is full and well compacted, it's used to build this kind of infrastructure. The Eco-Brick teaches lots of values to the kids. First, it teaches them how to sort waste, because in Senegal, sorting waste is not really something important. But by asking them to only fill it up with dry waste, obviously the organic waste goes elsewhere. The second thing is that it gives them a better understanding of how waste can have value and be turned into a resource. Right now they have benches and walls that are built with this very waste that was polluting the environment, and now is more positive, makes it beautiful. Trying to see waste as a resource, it's a mind shift. Until they see value, they cannot act upon it. We've been trying to show them that small improvement lead them to a better place. All this was rooted through the idea of circular economy by doing it in small increments. One of the satisfactions that I have today is to see that people are starting to do it by themselves. The idea and what I hope for is that they keep on moving ahead and turn this place into the paradise that it should be.
During its 40-year history, the legendary Dakar Rally has seen hundreds of amateur and professional racers take on thousands of miles of challenging terrain in a bid to take home one of the biggest titles in off-road racing. Originally starting in Paris, France, and ending here on the beaches of Dakar, Senegal, it has only ever been won by a woman once, Jutta Kleinschmidt, who was back in Senegal as an Extreme E reserve driver and took the time to reminisce about her journey in motorsport.
I bought my first motorbike and immediately I want to go off-road with this bike, and then I heard about the Dakar Rally and I came into motorsport because I was following the whole Dakar Rally first time just as a visitor, and I finished with the race at Lake Rose, which was a great memory. And after this I had the idea I want to do that as a race driver, and that's how everything started. This is when I built up my first bike. That was actually in '87, I think. That's in my apartment in Munich, in the 3rd floor, and I actually prepared my bike there because I had no money, so I had to do everything myself. And then after, I drove my first Dakar Rally on this BMW bike, which was in 1988. Very, very good memories because it was the start of my career.
Jutta finished her first Dakar on a motorbike in 1992 and again in '94, before she made the leap from 2 wheels to 4.
I changed to car, and you can see now I'm not alone anymore, you know. I had suddenly a co-driver. It was my first Dakar on a car, and we finished in a very good position. It was 10th overall. This is a real nice car. It was fast. It was one of the best cars in the field, and the car I won the Dakar with. You know, when you start on a motorcycle as a private driver with no mechanics, with nearly no spare parts, just wanting to survive and see the Lake Rose. And at this time, I would never expect to be one time in a professional team and on the top of the podium, win the Dakar Rally. It was actually unbelievable, and it took me a while to believe it, you know. And then they say Queen of Dakar, and I think I got this title when I won the Dakar as the first women ever have done it. To be honest, it's a nice title, I love it.
Just 6 years after transitioning to cars, Jutta was queen of the off-road racing world. She came second a year later in 2002 and finished third in 2005. Despite her success in proving that female racers can compete and win at the very top level of off-road racing, progress has been slow for other women to reach the very top.
This is always the most question I get. What is with women in motorsport? After you won it, we don't really see women doing the same. And it took a while, but I think we are now there. What helps us really a lot is Extreme E, because to mix women with men in the same car, that the same amount of women and the same amount of men are racing together against each other, I think you cannot make it better, and you can see how popular it is. We have so many women who are really good. We have now the base, and you can show your potential, and then for sure you can have a career like I did in motorsport.
Jutta's legendary motorsport career was about to be reignited and electrified where her success began, as she was called into action as reserve driver. Abt Cupra's Claudia Hertgen was taken ill, and Jutta stepped in to replace her. In qualifying, she drove brilliantly to help put Abt Cupra straight into semi-final 1, but there was plenty more action to come. An Extreme E race consists of 2 laps. The male and female driver must complete 1 lap each in any order, and they have 2 hyperdrive power boosts they can activate on lap 1 and lap 2 of the race. Day 1 is qualifying and sees all the teams head out on the course twice, with the combined time from both sessions making up the qualifying order. The top 3 go into semi-final 1, 4th, 5th and 6th go into semi-final 2. Day 2 brings about the racing action, with the top 2 finishers from each semi-final race proceeding to the 4-car final to battle it out for the win and the Ocean X Prix crown. The top 3 qualifiers from Day 1 were Rosberg X Racing, X44 and Abt Cupra, and they took to the grid for semi-final 1.
Like a lot of wheel spin for all 3 cars. Ekstrom on the outside, Lewis got a good start. Christopherson gives Loeb a little nudge. Christopherson is way out wide. Look where Christopherson's line was. Going to try and carry the pace all the way from the beach up. Closes the gap down on Loeb. Looks to the inside line. He's trying the same move he got in Saudi. He's almost done it again. Loeb, though, now has the inside line for the left-hander. Christopherson shuts the door on him and gets into P2, but it's Ekstrom who leads. They're the 3 strongest teams of the weekend, so it's a disaster. It really is for whichever one doesn't make it. Christopherson's rear end kicks high in the air, but the 9-time World Rally Champion isn't close enough to capitalise.
Oh, look at that! What great shots!
Fantastic. Christopherson and Loeb hopping in the background past, but Ekstrom has this whole shot now. He's going to hand over to Jutta Kleinsmith. 45 is plenty of time. Take a breath, get this right, get the other driver in, and give them the best chance.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go, 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 go.
What's happened? Come on, get going.
Oh, this is disaster for Jutta Kleinschmidt.
I couldn't hear the signal to go out. Normally we count down, and then I know exactly this is the second I have to push drive, and I heard nothing. Then I looked to Matthias and he said, look, go, go. But it was already a bit too late.
With Abt Cupra dropping from the lead, RXR and X44 battled it out for the top spot.
Less than a second now between Taylor out front and Gutierrez in that Lewis Hamilton X44 car. She's looking for a way through.
X44 machine just looks absolutely dialed. Gutierrez is able to take that bumpier line that the other cars don't seem able to. She closes the gap down a little bit now on Molly Taylor. Gutierrez is right there behind.
Despite constant pressure from Cristina Gutierrez, Molly Taylor remained focused and held the lead.
And it is once again another win for the Rosberg car. It is Molly Taylor who crosses the line. Congratulations to them, booking their place in the final and making history once again for Christopherson and Taylor.
Heartbreak for the Queen of Dakar Jutta Kleinschmidt and the Abt Cupra team, but it was Race 1 winners RXR and their rivals X44 who secured the first 2 places in the final and moved 1 step closer to victory. Pinning motorsport legends against young racing talent, an equally split male and female driver lineup doing battle on the biggest stage, and combining breathtaking off-road racing action with sustainable and future-focused technologies are some of the many reasons that Extreme E have been able to secure the commitment of yet another legendary motorsport brand for the championship's 2nd season in 2022.
We are going to announce a new team that is going to join the Extreme E Championship. One of the biggest names ever in the history of motorsport is joining the championship of the future. McLaren is basically motorsport. McLaren is the history of motorsport. McLaren is the glory, McLaren is the titles in many different championships. And then also McLaren is the view of the future. And McLaren represents really what we want to have in Extreme E. By working together, Extreme E and McLaren, we can really move forward the agenda on sustainability that we both want to promote. Hey.
Alejandro.
How's it going?
Welcome to McLaren.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
That's cool. Let's
amazing.
Let's have a look.
Vamos.
You know, we have got this great history of running in different championships. We've won the Indy 500 3 times.
With this one?
This particular car once. And what's interesting, we talk about innovation in racing. You know, the rear view mirror and the seat belts were developed at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So kind of safety and innovation, and now as we move towards sustainability, motor racing is such a great contributor.
This one still didn't have the rear view mirrors.
Correct. Exactly. And then this car here is amazing. This is Bruce McLaren's Grand Prix car with mirrors.
With mirrors.
And he won his first race in Grand Prix in 1968. This is what we've been doing for a while, and this is what's going to take us into the future.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Welcome.
McLaren has a long history in pioneering and innovation, which is clearly what the Extreme E Championship's been founded on, and sustainability and diversity, two very important issues in the world today, two issues very close to McLaren's heart, and we feel we can use the racing platform to put on a great show, but also to accelerate our learning in sustainability and be able to contribute to making the world a better place. McLaren Racing's been involved in Formula E since its inception, so it's something that we feel we have a real expertise in, and so looking forward to seeing as Extreme E develops how we can continue to learn and build and use Extreme E as a test bed for our technologies.
Each of Extreme E's race locations acts as an opportunity to showcase new technologies in the bid to combat the global climate crisis. With the coastline of Senegal being a hotspot for plastic pollution, it was a perfect opportunity to introduce an innovative solution in the production of biodegradable plastics.
So Polymateria, a British business that have been in existence for 6 years. We have developed a new technology that works to address the type of plastic that is most likely to wind up in the natural environment, to fully and safely get it to biodegrade without any microplastic or without any harm to the natural environment itself. What we've done as part of the partnership with Extreme E is to really mobilize and drive awareness with consumers around their role in all of this. The problem with plastic is that it's incredibly resilient, so it will last and stick around for hundreds of years and turn into microplastic and clog up the natural environment. So what we've done is develop something that makes it perishable. The founder of Extreme E, Alejandro Agag, learned about a lot of the scientific work that we had done and came up with the idea that's sitting right behind me here now around how do we actually show this to people in a way that kind of creates this seeing is believing type moment. So behind me here is the Living Lab, and it is one-of-a-kind construction. It's specifically designed to replicate exactly what happens in the natural environment. So in the natural environment, you need to have UV light, air, moisture, all of those types of agents of decay interact with the natural materials each and every day. It's quite a complex thing to get right. And in order to develop something as bespoke as this, we turned to the team at Set the Scene, who work very closely with Pinewood Studios here in the UK and very used to developing these types of crazy innovations for big Disney productions that are going on in those studios at the moment. So it's been 2 weeks to kind of manufacture it and get it to this point, and then tomorrow it's going to be shipped off to Dakar for the Extreme E race, where it will be placed in the paddock with all the team and the drivers.
When we looked at this partnership with Polymateria and with Lifecycle, I was incredibly excited. I think the potential of Polymateria can change the world. Plastic is a huge challenge, and a technology that can basically make plastic self-destruct and become also harmless. It doesn't harm nature. I think it has an incredible potential. So that's why we came up with this time capsule that we have here, that we will put all the cups, that come from our hospitality here, that are all being treated with Polymateria, and we will see what happens when we come back. Well, when we come back, I'm hoping to see nothing. I'm hoping that this will have no plastic anymore. We'll just have sand, and that the technology can be adopted all over the world. To go to beaches like the one in Dakar and not to see any plastic on the beach. That's the dream that we both want to achieve.
This is a global problem. So this is really a solution to redesign plastic at point of manufacture so that it will return to nature without any problems.
The all-electric Extreme E Championship will see 9 teams consisting of 1 female and 1 male driver go wheel to wheel in the cutting-edge Odyssey 21 SUV. All the teams are running the same car with the same spec, and adjustments to their setup is limited. This ensures tight and exciting racing. To inject an element of strategy into this flat-out super tight racing, the championship introduced Hyperdrive, a 4-second boost in power for the drivers to use once on each lap. Using hyperdrive at the perfect time can win or lose you the race, as it did for Johan Kristoffersson at round 1 in Saudi Arabia.
I think the biggest thing was when to use the hyperdrive, trying to look at the others a little bit, like when are they using theirs and trying to adjust to that. But I think here was like Timmy used his hyperdrive straight away from the start. So here was just all about trying to stay cool and not use mine, because of course I got tempted to use it early. Yeah, so I used it on the long straight. Timmy took the line that I took in the semi-final, tried to straighten out the chicane, but I just did an extra bit of it, and yeah. And then I just got past Timmy.
Hyperdrive is definitely an important part of the race strategy. It really does give a significant boost for that 4 seconds in terms of driving in traffic, where you use that and how that affects your lines compared to others, and where your position on the road is.
This is the moment where they will deploy hyperdrive. It gives them an extra boost, 4 seconds of extra boost. Can they catch them? Can they claw them in?
It's great because it adds in a real strategic element of when you want to try and maybe make an overtake or try and get a faster lap time. Definitely there'll be different places to use it. I think in qualifying, but definitely in the race. I think depending on how good your start is, there's got to be differences in what people do, and yeah, I guess that strategic element will really come into play.
Bennett uses his hyperdrive now. He wants to slingshot round the outside.
Everybody's got their strategies. I always try to drive with it that I don't have it. I don't have it. So I got to work to get it. I got to work to get the rest. And if I get there, it's like the gold at the end of the rainbow.
A moment in an Extreme E race can change everything and guarantees excitement for the drivers, fans and teams, and is one of the many reasons the championship has been so successful in attracting some of the biggest names in motorsport to battle it out across the globe. With the first 2 spots in the final already being filled by X44 and Rosberg X Racing, the fight was on between JBXE, Excite Energy Racing and Veloce Racing to see who would be joining them to make up the 4-car final.
And they are off, the cars digging in. You can see that, trying to find some traction. It looks pretty equal. In fact, I think it's JBXE that have got the best start, and they are flying. So that's a great start for Kevin Hansen. He goes down towards the beach. You can see the 2 cars trying to catch him. Bennett uses his hyperdrive now. He wants to slingshot round the outside. Has he managed to do it? Not quite. So it is still the JBXE team that lead the way with Hansen at the wheel. Kevin doing a great job, but look at this, the tussle for second place is on. Which of the cars is going to get it? You've got to be aggressive. Chadwick knows what she's doing, and she has done that. She's defended the challenge. She has done a great job securing second place, so now Bennett needs to find a different way through.
Bennett trying to come around the outside line there. I think he could have committed to that and just gone for it anyway. Chadwick was slow into the hairpin at the top of the hill. Bennett takes the alternate line. Going to try and cut her off as he comes down over the crest. Just not quite enough space. Chadwick runs a little bit wide. They're side by side. Jamie might try and hold on now to the left-hander, but she can't. Bennett is through as they go into the switch zone.
The pit limiter comes on. Just to confirm, the pit limiter comes on a lot, so let me know if we should do a cycle or something.
JBXE started lap 2 with a significant lead, and that technical issue for Veloce meant they'd need to put up a huge fight if they were going to make it through to the final.
I think the attack is coming on again. You can see Sarazan just bringing that gap in all the time.
Christine GZ clips a flag on the outside. Sarazan takes an alternate line for Veloce. He's going to try and carry the speed now. Comes back in, makes the cutback, going to get alongside Christine GZ. Sarazan risks it over the crest. Trying to send it round the outside line, rear bodywork hanging off Christine GZ's car. It's narrow into this braking zone. Sarazan gets it done. Aggressive move with an alternate line. Better exit speed. Great move. See, Sarazan's gone slowly. No, Stefan Sarazan's got to slow down in that corner. That's the same corner that Chadwick got passed by Bennett by. I wonder if they got an issue. Side by side, Christine GZ trying to make the pass now. She's into the door of Sarazan. He slams the door in her face. Coming into the left-hander. This is for the last place in the final. Michaela Arlen-Kotlinski takes the win for JBXE. Her and Kevin Hansen are through to the final, but it's all about the battle for P2. It's going to be a drag race down to the finish line. He did save his hyperdrive. Sarazan had a plan the whole way. He would have used that for a pass if he needed it, but he got the pass done early, and Stefan Sarazan and Jamie Chadwick go through to the final for Veloce. What a great redemption for them from Saudi Arabia. That's a great semi-final.
A great tussle between the Veloce and Excite Energy teams in that semi-final, but it was Stefan Sarazan who secured Veloce the spot in the final alongside JBXE, Rosberg X Racing and X44. With the worldwide pandemic still having a big impact on parts of South America, Extreme E has taken the difficult decision to postpone their visit to the region until Season 2 in 2022. As the world celebrates International Rainforest Day this week, the series has still pledged support to its reforestation and agroforestry initiatives in Brazil, which are already well underway in the region thanks to the partnership with the Nature Conservancy. New venues for rounds 4 and 5 for Season 1 are being worked on and will be announced soon. Next time on Electric Odyssey. A grid full of heavy hitters go head-to-head in an action-packed shootout race. And we'll see who will take the crown in the Ocean X Prix on the beaches of Senegal.